live in, and all different questions that everybody's been asking us. So it's not exactly how I plan to have a video because we're a bit out of time. I was wanting to sit down and do the video, so we're currently on the road on our way back to Rotherham. So we've been at my mum and dad's house, so we're on our way back to Rotherham, so I just thought I'd do it now because I wanted to make sure I still get out on time. So if you hear a little bit of background noise, if you're struggling to hear me, I'm really sorry. There's not a lot I can do about it. So, and we went up 2,000 followers on TikTok yesterday, so thank you each and every one of you. So I should have wrote the questions down like so actually, Neil.
Well, you know, Neil's never right, as you say.
So one of the first questions was
when she gets there.
Do you know how much wrong thing? What does something like that cost to get? So how much does an ambulance cost to get? So ambulances vary in price. So it depends on like what year ambulance you buy, what the mileage is like. They all vary. They vary from around 4,000. No, they're around minimum of 5,500. No, aren't they?
Between 5,000
Between 5,000 and 14,000 and going up from there. So for around £5,500 mark, you're talking of an ambulance that's absolutely battered, about 15 years old, and that's done like 320,000 on the clock, if not higher. For around the £7,000, £8,000 mark, you're looking at something that's around 10 years old and that's got about 250,000, 260,000 on it, would I be right? And then obviously going up to more valuable, the higher price around £10,000 to £14,000. You're looking at an ambulance that's fairly new, like 6 years old, and that's lower mileage, around under the 200,000 mark, so around 100,000, 130, so on and so on. So there's the first question. That's a bit nice. The second well, another question is, wow, this is amazing. Do you have a loo? Can I ask what something like this would cost? Just ask that one. And where would you park and stay in it? So do we have a loo, Neil?
Yeah, we have a toilet.
We have a toilet, just like you guys at home.
It's just it's a chemical toilet.
It's just a chemical toilet. You might think, what's that? It's just not. It's literally just a toilet and drops into the bottom. You flush it, and then at the end, like when the toilet gets full, Neil takes it, and a cassette comes out, and then you just empty the toilet into
an Elson point.
A what?
Elson point.
So just a facility where you're able to empty the toilets. It doesn't smell because it's got chemicals in it, so you can't smell it. It's literally exactly the same as any other toilet. I answered the question about how much was it cost and where would you park. We park literally anywhere, don't we? Wherever we can find a space, like.
We have never had any problems parking up.
No. There's Neil. He is driving.
We've never had any problems parking up.
No.
As long as obviously you're not parked blocking the way somewhere, or
As long as you're legally parked.
yeah, don't just go and dump your van at the side of the road.
But so for the past 3 weeks we've been up in the Lake District, stayed up there. We then travelled down to the Essex area. We stayed up at Great Yarmouth. We stayed right along the seafront. We stayed in a car parking space that would never park ever again because we got like flooded. The tide come up so high that there's a video about that if you want to go back and look at it anyway. We stay at campsites sometimes. We stay at campsites at least once a month, like for a night, just so we can, like, if we haven't managed to wash our clothes, we can wash all our clothes, empty the toilets, fill up with water, etc, etc. Another question people ask is, where do we wash our clothes? There's a lot of places that have washing machine facilities. So it's like laundrettes at petrol stations that you would have seen, but you wouldn't have seen because you wouldn't have been paying any attention. So there's literally, they're everywhere. You You just go up, the washing machines are outside, you stick your washing in them, takes like 45 minutes, take it out, put it in the tumble dryer. They're about £8 a load, but it's like an 18 kilogram drum, so it's massive, it's bigger than what you ever consider, like 3 loads of washing in at once, and then you stick it in your dryer. The dryer costs about £2 to £3 every 30 minutes. We usually stick it on for about an hour, so it costs us to do like our washing, costs us about £20 more than ours, doesn't it? And then it's
around that.
It depends how much washing we've got and if we need to wash towels and stuff like that.
Campsites are a lot cheaper to use washing machines and dryers though.
Another question. Let's look on. Do you have to remove the stickers or can you keep them?
It's not illegal.
It's a borderline thing, isn't it, really?
No, it's not illegal to have the stickers. The coloured stickers are called Battenberg.
Yeah, Battenberg, anybody can have that.
You can have that on, but where it says emergency ambulance, you've got to make it so it doesn't say emergency ambulance.
You can literally peel one letter off each side and you're allowed to keep it. As long as it doesn't say emergency ambulance, you're allowed to keep it. Another question, the most asked question, the most question that gets the most views about, the most question everybody argues about is the blue lights and sirens. Neil's favourite thing. So, the blue lights and sirens, yes, we're allowed them, yes, we're allowed to keep them, and yes, we're allowed to use them. We're just not allowed to use them on public roads and like land and stuff like that. As long as we're on private property, you're allowed them on. We didn't attach them to the vehicle that was already attached, therefore we did break the law there, and we don't use them on public roads. So again, we're not breaking no laws at all. We actually asked 2 police officers, that weren't just police officers, there were traffic officers, weren't there?
Yeah.
And we asked them, and they also agreed that we're not breaking no laws. We didn't fit them. It was already fitted, and as long as we don't use them on public places, then they're absolutely fine. You just got to think about like boy races and things like that, or the lights that they have when they're standing on shows and stuff. They're allowed them, and there's nothing they can do about them because they're not using them on the roads and stuff. So as long as they're not using them on the roads, there's nothing they can really do about it. So that's why we've kept them, because we want to keep them for the shows and when we're on display, because we go to a lot of camper van shows and our ambulances on display. So Neil likes to show people the blue lights when we're on stand. So yes, we've kept them, yes, we're allowed them. Shut up arguing about them, Karen. A lot of things people always say. Fun fact, people have died in the ambulance. Another fun fact, they don't actually die in the ambulance because they're not allowed to get pronounced. They might have died in it, but they're not allowed to get pronounced dead in it. So with all the cells and stuff in. We was going to buy one of them, but we obviously decided against it. We got the ambulance. but you can literally pick them up. Facebook Marketplace, you can look on there. There's a lot of places to sell them. However, at the moment, we're in a bit of high demand that everybody's now wanting to buy ambulances and turn them into camper vans, just because of what they come with. They come with so much stuff that they just work well to be in a camper van, really. So that's where you can buy them from. What other questions have we got? Are you selling any of the things inside? So we sold all the things inside of this ambulance that we're in at the minute. We sold the bed actually went back into the NHS, well, back into the being an ambulance bed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody that was restoring an ambulance and putting an ambulance back on the road. So basically, I didn't know if anybody knows, but you can like become a paramedic and then have your own ambulance. I didn't actually know about that, but you can do that. And this lady was putting an ambulance back on the road and she needed a bed so she could go along and she had hours. So we sold all the stuff out of that one. The one that we just got, we're doing the same with that. All the stuff out of that's being sold in ambulance. All the stuff out of that one's being sold as well. Hopefully that we'll find somebody so it can go and do the same thing rather than it just being wasted. A lot of people want them as well for doing like what's it called? Where they do like practice stuff.
To be fair, a lot of ambulances get used for a lot of things.
Yeah, so like some people want the beds so they can like for paramedics to like practice and do stuff from, you know what I mean. How do you lock the door? I'm sorry, what question is that?
What do you mean?
How do you lock the door? How do you lock a door on a car? You press the button and lock it. However, it's the exact same on these doors or inside. We have a little thing that when we're inside,
It's just a catch.
It's a catch and you flick it and it locks the door.
It's like the inside of a car door.
Yeah, exactly the same. Just that's exactly how it works. What other questions have we got? Has anyone ever knocked asking for help? No. Nobody's knocked asking for help because we don't look like an ambulance.
It doesn't look like an ambulance anymore. It's obviously the same shape.
It's exactly the same shape, so it like kind of looks like an ambulance, but I'm pretty sure the public should be knowledgeable to realise that we're not an ambulance no more because we haven't got all the ambulance stuff all over the side of us.
Yeah.
We're like a sandy colour. This colour here, this colour here is what we are now outside. So although obviously we still look like the shape of the ambulance because we can't change that, we're a different colour completely. Do we have Wi-Fi? We don't personally, because we just don't see the point in it because we both got unlimited data and it works absolutely fine and we just connect everything we need to on personal hotspot. However, you can have Wi-Fi like fitted car in, what is it?
You can get Wi-Fi, 12-volt Wi-Fi routers, which work exactly the same. Mobile Wi-Fi boxes that you can get that plug into USB, they're exactly the same. You put a SIM card in it, you pay a monthly fee, say of £30 for unlimited data. It's exactly the same.
But we just didn't see the point in paying extra another bill when we don't need it because we've got unlimited data to just cover off anyway. And we don't. The other thing we use our phones, but the only other thing that's Wi-Fi is when we're like watching TV on Netflix and we just use our Wi-Fi. It works fine. That was a question that was asked a lot. Do we have Wi-Fi? It sounds rude. I'm not meaning it. But why don't you live in a house? So we decided. Well, we didn't really decide. We had a long story. We had to move out of the house that we was in, and we decided why not go into our van rather than having the struggle of going into a house. We didn't know whether we wanted to buy a house, do some travelling, or what we wanted to do at the time. So we just decided, right, let's move into the van and we'll go do travelling, and then we'll come back and eventually buy a house. So that's the only reason really. We want to do our travelling now, and what's the point in renting a house for it just to be sat there, or buying a house just for it to be sat there when we're not going to be using it? It's just wasting money at this moment in time for us, and we just didn't like it. It wasn't for living in a house at this moment in time. It wasn't for us. We wanted to get out, get travelling. We didn't want to be stuck in our jobs tomorrow. We'd had enough, and we just wanted something completely different. So we just went for it. We just did it.
It's not just that, it's look at your expenses for living in a house.
Yeah.
Rent, council tax, water bill, gas bill, electric bill. Then you've got other things on top of that if you want it, like if you've got Sky, you've got your Sky bill, your Wi-Fi bill. At the minute,
We don't.
we've got car insurance, car tax, and food bill.
Yeah.
So it's a lot cheaper.
It's so much cheaper.
And we are not working a 9 till 5 job, or
Well,
what
he
I was
working
working,
12
hours, 5 or 6 days a week, and not doing anything. You're working to live. At the minute, we're not. We're doing what we want to do. We're going where we want to go.
Yeah.
And
It's like everything's our choice on our hands. Like,
we are not stuck in the system.
yeah. And that was a big thing for us. We wanted just to be free for a little while.
We have met some real nice people on the road, haven't we?
You wouldn't believe how many people do this. Like, it's absolutely crazy. There's like hundreds, thousands of people that do the exact same thing as us that we've met on the road. That are absolutely lovely. Honestly, it's an absolutely amazing like little community to be in. Everyone's so friendly. Everybody wants to help everybody, and it's just so nice. So eventually, well, in a couple of months, we was due to leave to go to Europe last month. However, we changed our minds and we've held off for this winter because we want to go away and work next year. So we wanted to save our time, and we're leaving next year now, well, at the beginning of the year, to start our new adventure there as well.
Van life is not all great either. There is bad bits.
There is bad bits, but
There is bad
more
bits.
good than bad. One of the bad things is when we nearly died the other day.
There's quite a few bad bits, but they're only bad if you make them bad.
Yeah. Another question: how do you charge your phones and things? So in the back, we have everything. So you just plug your phone in like normal into a plug socket. We have a fridge freezer. We have a normal household oven. We have a sink. We have a bed. We have a toilet. We have a shower. It is literally like your house compressed down into one room. Really, that's all it is. Except nothing is any different except for all our electric is free because it's coming from the sun, because we've got solar panels on the roof. So that is the only difference really. Why are they stocked as ambulances if they're still usable? So basically, it's putting the public more at risk. So an ambulance, when it gets to a certain age or it's to a certain amount of miles, it's becoming I don't know the word. So it's becoming more of a chance that it's going to break down or something's going to happen. So imagine they've got a patient in the back, they go into hospital, this patient's like needs serious like help, it's like end of life. They don't want to have the risk of breaking down and them having to get they've broken down there. They don't want to have the risk of the ambulance breaking down, so unfortunately ambulances just have to retire when they hit that certain age or mileage, whatever one comes first. They just don't want to keep, it's just a risk factor, so they're
not as reliable.
Yeah.
When they get old, same as anything, it gets worn out. Damaged. They
so
don't
just don't want the risk, so they renew them. Can you do a full tour, please? I am going to do a full tour. I'm going to stick it on like a short clip on TikTok. I'm also going to do a YouTube video in the next couple of do it sometimes. But I will do like a full banter shortly, and I'll stick it on TikTok. Does it not make you feel weird knowing that people may have died in that vehicle? People have died in your house, unfortunately. It's just the same. Like, people die, and it's a normal thing.
It's a bit of a silly question, really. And that's like saying, do you not feel awkward going to hospital if someone's just stabbed you because people have died in the hospital?
People die everywhere. It's a normal thing. I can see where you're coming from, like, but why are you always looking at the negative things that have happened in hospitals? Why not about in ambulances? Why not the positive things? So it's got to be open-minded, really. Is it open? Would you be open-minded? Is it being open-minded?
To be fair, it doesn't matter, does it? People die everywhere.
Yeah, people just die.
People live everywhere.
What do you do as work? So me and Neil was lucky enough that we don't have to work anymore because we saved money before. Well, not before. So we moved into a van in January and we carried on working while she was in the van up until about 2 months ago, 3 months ago. We decided that we'd saved enough money and that we just didn't want to have to work anymore. And if we did feel like we needed to work, then we can easily get a job. I do like, it's not a job, but so I do like TikToks and things like that. We get paid on TikTok. It's not a lot, but obviously it's something. And I also do t-shirt printing and jumper printing and printing on cups. So if anybody wants any of that, hit me up. I'm also doing Christmas stockings and things like that, if anybody wants any. So I do like things like that. It's not a job because I enjoy doing it. So, and it's not day in, day out. It's if I get an order, I'll do it. It's not like, I don't like, maybe I should full on advertising because I wouldn't get a lot of money from doing it, but it's just there. So it's sometimes if I want to earn some more money, then that's what I do. So yeah. But if you do want to do this and you don't have the money and you feel like you still need to work, you don't, because there's so many jobs like on the road, especially when you hit Europe. There's like fruit picking where you can go earn a couple of pounds picking fruit. There's people that want to do some work on the land, they'll pay you. There's so many ways like of earning money whilst you're on the road. It's unreal. Stop buying ambulances. The ambulance service thing, I'm really sorry, but the ambulance service don't need it because they're at the end of their life. So that's just me. So they don't need them. Hi, have you had your ambulances down weighted to 3.5 ton for a normal licence?
No.
No, because if you want to know a fact, to stop people away from money, if you buy an ambulance and you try and get it down weighted to 3.5 ton, it's not going to work, because even if you enter the whole entire content of the ambulance, take the tail lift off, take the mattress out, take everything out, it's still 3.8 tons. So there's no point even trying, unfortunately. Last few questions, because this has been actually quite long. Also, is it illegal for you to use the blue light sirens? No, we have answered that one. I think we've answered quite a lot. Actually. Go on this one. Do some people think that you stole our paramedics? So I swear some people do think we just went up and stole an ambulance. Yeah, some people like the trying to think of other questions that we can ask about. I'm trying to scroll through. What other questions do we get asked all the time?
There's a lot of questions that we get asked. it's like there is no difference really in between living in this van than it is living in a house. We have heating, we have hot water, we have gas. There's a lot of things that this van has got.
It has everything that house has.
It has. It's got its own power supply, which is solar powered. It's got its own battery bank to store the power. I mean, the batteries recharge themselves every day by the sun.
Yeah.
So obviously at night they're not charging. We're using the battery bank that we've got. We've got an onboard underslung LPG tank, which we fill up at the petrol station, which is gas.
It'll
which
last forever.
Yeah, that.
I can't believe, like, sorry to interrupt. I can't believe how much you actually get charged in a house for a gas bill, because our gas tank is 44 litres, 44 litres, and it costs us roughly about £13 to fill, right? That will last us a good 6 months to a year, and that is us having showers all the time, that's me cooking dinner. So just the same as that, I know you have to heat your whole house up. That's the only thing that our gas doesn't do, that doesn't heat. We've got a diesel night heater, but it is absolutely crazy how much gas bill it is. We was paying a fortune in our house on gas bills, and it just, I just think, wow, I was paying a lot of money for something that really doesn't actually cost a lot of money. It goes to show, like, all the overheads and things you're actually paying on top of that, not just gas. Another question is, where do we get our packages delivered to? So we're lucky that my mum and dad still have a house, so all our parcels and stuff like that go straight there. Or if we're like completely like the opposite, if we're nowhere near home or nowhere near my mum and dad's, you can have parcels dropped off in like these Amazon boxes that are literally everywhere, and they just get delivered in a box, and you go to the box.
There's a lot of shops now as well where you can get your parcel delivered to, or you can actually rent a PO box in an area of your choice where you can go and pick your parcels up from.
Yeah.